Hello readers, I've decided to go ahead and make my unhauls into vlogs so that I don't just end up hanging on to all of my books until I'm ready for my seasonal unhaul. So I'm still going to be posting these seasonally, I'm just going to make it kind of a vlogging collection of books that I'm getting rid of. So real quickly here, I've got my pile. A Man Called Ove. I picked this up because it was a book that I was seeing everywhere, and I liked the cover. And looking over the premise, it's kind of a contemporary, feel-good sort of a story, and it just doesn't seem like a book that I'll ever actually get around to reading, so gonna go ahead and unhaul this. The Polished Hoe. Again, not one with a premise that I'm necessarily super interested in, and I finally admitted to myself that most of the reason I'm hanging on to this book is because the cover photo is absolutely gorgeous, but I'm just not going to get around to reading it. I would like to read it, but I'm definitely not going to read it anytime soon, and my physical TBR is very much out of control, so I'm going to say goodbye to it. I have Sophie's Choice. I've heard it's a really awesome movie. I've never actually seen the movie. In reading through the premise, it's a very, very romance-oriented book, which I don't really read any romance. I'm not interested in that since, like, high school. And it's a super chunky book, and I'm not gonna read it. It's also got, like, super tiny writing, which really puts me off. So there's that. Next up, I have Margaret George's Helen of Troy. I really love Greek mythology. I think I would have been really interested in this. But again, it's a fairly large book. I'm not going to get to this anytime soon. And I am already planning, sometime in the next year, to get through this enormous hardcover copy of the Memoirs of Cleopatra. This is almost 1,000 pages, which is really well sized for me. Between the two, right now I think I'm more interested in Cleopatra. Cleopatra and the Greeks have both always kind of been my thing. But yeah, I've already got this one. I don't know if I'm going to like the author. I'm not going to get around to this, so going goodbye. Next up, we have the only book that I'm unhauling in this particular filming that I've actually read, and that would be The Collected Schizophrenias. I will link some of my mental health-a-thon films down below. This book was just not what I wanted it to be. I was expecting a really personal account of having schizophrenia, and instead it was more of a what is schizophrenia kind of research sort of memoir. Most of the information that I got out of it was stuff that I already knew, so it wasn't what I think it should have been, and I'm just not interested in keeping this around on my shelves. I also have The Homegoing by Yagyasi. I thought this looked interesting. It's a relatively short book. Not a premise that I think I'm super interested in, and I've been hearing really kind of back and forth things on this book. A lot of people, I think, aren't loving it, and that kind of puts me off, so giving this up. And lastly, I've got Amy Tan's The Bonesetter's Daughter. This is another one that looks interesting, but I haven't actually read this author yet. I already have the Joy Luck Club sitting on my shelf. It's been sitting on my shelf for longer than a year. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one up and just stick with her most popular book. Really quick, I will show you my TBR sections here. So here is the shelf that I've reorganized on top of my desk. These ones I've already read, and I need to finish my High Plains Book Awards so I can go ahead and do a review, and that comes up again in October, so I should really finish those books. This is my nonfiction shelf. Yes, this is a copy of Mein Kampf. I will totally be talking about it once I finally read it. I'm excited for it, honestly. I want to know what the hell this guy wrote about, what exactly he had to say and just how crazy he was, because I'm interested in dark stuff like that. A lot of these I'm hoping to get through for Nonfiction November, but I would of course like to read them outside of that because I don't want to just leave all of my nonfiction for November, because I really enjoy nonfiction and I should be giving more love to these books. Next up, here's just kind of a look, I'll back up, at my entire bookshelf set. This room's actually fairly small, so I'm happy with how I've done all the fitting. Up here, all these Phyllis Whitneys are more photography books for me because they lay open really well, they lay flat really well, so they're great for like pagey backgrounds, if you know what I mean. Valley of the Dolls, I've already read and just don't have a spot for it. These are kind of like black and white color organized. There's another book on Cleopatra. All these other books that I haven't gotten around to. This giant space right here is where Memoirs of Cleopatra is supposed to go. I can't get that up without two hands. V.C. Andrews, I've read all of this. I just don't have a spot for it. And here is my color organized to be read books. This is not counting the classics that I have on my classics shelf that I've not gotten around to yet. Nor the Stephen King that I haven't gotten around to yet. Yeah. So that's kind of my TBR stuff. This is definitely more of a TBR Unhaul kind of filming day. So I will see you all in the next clip. Hello everyone, it is end of August right now. I've got a couple days left until September, and I have more books that I'm getting rid of. Mennonite in a Little Black Dress. I finished reading this really recently. It was pretty fun, light beach read. Not going to read it again. Going to go ahead and let it move on to someone who will want to read it. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I got this whenever I was studying sex education in college. It's very outdated book and idea, so getting rid of that. Half the Human Experience, The Psychology of Women. This was a free book from the psychology office in college. It was one of those, they're clearing out their shelves, they set it on the desk, you could grab it. I thought it looked interesting at the time. I have never read it. I'm never going to read it, in spite of what the little post-it notes might tell you. So, actually going to give this to a therapist friend of mine, as well as Psychology and the Problems of Today, which was also a free book from the psychology office, and has like a really funky, colorful cover that I liked. Midwives by Chris Bojalian. I read this for the reading rush, wasn't crazy about it, not gonna read it again. Woman may or may not have accidentally killed a pregnant client of hers in giving birth and giving a C-section. It was interesting enough. The Joy of Sex and More Joy of Sex. Again, I got these when I was studying sex education. These are pretty early editions. I can't find the copyright page, so I couldn't tell you the exact date, but there are much better books out here than The Joy of Sex. So I'm not going to look through them. I'm not going to do anything with them. They're just taking up more space on my shelves. And last, and certainly not least, I am trying to kind of declutter my Harry Potter shelves a little bit, and that includes this enormous stack of books on tape, like actual cassette tape, that I got from a former boss of mine. Really appreciate them, but I've got Audible now with my phone. It's easier to carry around, so just gonna go ahead and let these go. I have the first one, the second, the third, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh, which the fifth is a huge box. Of course, it was the biggest book. Yeah, I just never got the fourth one. I don't know. But, yeah, if I really want to listen to these, I will get them on Audible. These, I think, are all done by Jim Dale if he happens to be someone that you like to listen to. That is it for this part of the Unhaul. This might be it for the video. I don't know that I have any other books that I'll be getting rid of anytime soon. So, we'll see. If I don't have another part to this video, then see you all in the next upload. Bye.